What's up guys? So you want to study programming? Let's hear. So in this tutorial we're going to look into C programming input and output function. In C programming there are several built-in or predefined functions that can do the input and output tasks, but the two most commonly used functions are Printf and Scanf, and that's what we're going to be focusing on for this tutorial. For Scanf function, it used to get the input from the user, and then for the Printf it used to display it on the screen or monitor. So for the first example here, you will print C programming and the output will be C programming. So how does this example work? All valid C program contain the main function. So you have to have this one. This is a must for every C program. The code execution begin from the main function, and the printf is a library function which is declared in right here, stdio.h. stdio.h right here is the header file, the standard input output header file, and it will tell the preprocessor directive to pass the code from the header files when necessary. When the compiler encounter a printf function and doesn't find stdio, the compiler will show an error and return 0 right here is an exit status of the program. In simple terms, the program will end when it sees this return 0. And this second example, we will try to print the value of 5, which is assigned to text integer. So for the second example, we're trying to print the value of 5, which is assigned to text integer of type int, which is integer. So we'll print it right here. In order to print the value of an integer, you have to use %d, and then you close the double quote, comma, and then type the variable that, and then type the variables and press F11 in Delta C++, and it will show the output, which is number equal to 5. The third example, we will look into integer input and output. So when the program execution starts from main function, it will print enter an integer, and then it will let the user to type an integer. So when you type an integer, it will be stored in an address of variable text integer, and then it will execute the next statement, which is number equal to text integer right here. So yeah, when you enter an integer 4, and then it will display number equal to 4. The third example is C float input and output. For the third example, we will try to get input from the user to enter the floats, which has the decimal part, and also to try to print it out. So right here we reserve a computer memory, which in a variable of type floats, and then the program execution starts from main, and it will print enter a number. You enter float. So right here, in order to let it scan float, you have to use %f, which will tell the computer that the user will enter float type, and it will be stored in f address, and then it will print the value of f. You will still have to use %f in the double quote again. So For example, if you enter 23.45, then the value that will be printed out would be 23.45 and 000, because you didn't specify the length of the float type. And for the first example, you will try to get the input that is of type character and then print it. So you declare a variable chr of type character, and then the program execution will enter a character. Then you enter a character that is stored in the chr address, and then it will display the character itself, and then the program stops when it returns 0. So for example, if you enter a character G, it will say you enter G, just like that. And now just let me tell you a bit about ASCII code. When a character is entered the above program, which are the program that we just see earlier, the character itself is not stored. Instead, a numeric value, which we call value, is stored. So to put it into perspective, it means that if you enter number 5, we don't really store number 5 itself, but instead we store the value, and that value we call ASCII value. We have a list of it, and then you can go to Google and then search for ASCII value. So maybe A, B, C, D, E, and T, Z, they all have one unique ASCII value. So this example will tell you about ASCII code value. So you enter a character, which is percentage C. It will tell the computer that you will enter a character and store in chr address, and you will say you enter percentage C dot and then escape, and which is mean new line. So yeah, so if you enter a character G, it said you enter G, and then the ASCII code of this one. So you try to print the value, the ASCII value of chr. So you just use percentage D right here, and then it will display 103 for lowercase g. You can also display the character of the ASCII code, and this example will show you how. So basically, you declare a variable chr and assign it to 69 of type integer, and then you will have this one. Character having ASCII value 69 is percentage %C. So it will tell the computer that you're going to print character type of chr. Even though this right here is a number, then it still can print the letter right here, a character right here. So the output, you have enter ASCII value 69. 69 is E, the uppercase E, because 69 here, as in the ASCII code list, it is equal to uppercase E. And that's it for C programming input and output. See you in my next video.